Look at Earth, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, and even the Sun. They all have something in common. They are almost perfectly round, but why? Why aren't planets shaped like cubes, pyramids, or giant rocks? The answer is gravity, and the reason is surprisingly simple. Imagine a huge pile of rocks floating in space. At first, it could have almost any shape, but every piece of matter has gravity, and every piece pulls toward every other piece. As the pile becomes larger, its gravity becomes stronger. Eventually, the gravity becomes powerful enough to pull the material toward the center from every direction. High bumps get pulled down, gaps get filled, and the object slowly becomes smoother. When this happens on a massive scale, the natural result is a rounded shape, a sphere. But here's the interesting part. Not everything in space is round. Look at asteroids. Many of them look like giant space potatoes. Some are long, some are flat, and some are completely irregular. Why doesn't gravity make them round too? Because they're usually too small. Their gravity isn't strong enough to overcome the strength of the rock holding them together. But when an object becomes massive enough, gravity eventually wins. Scientists describe this state using a term called hydrostatic equilibrium. In simple words, it means an object's gravity is strong enough to pull its material into a balanced, nearly round shape. But planets aren't actually perfect spheres. Earth is slightly flattened at the poles and wider around the equator. That's because Earth is spinning. Rotation creates an outward effect around the equator, making the planet bulge slightly. Saturn shows this effect even more dramatically. Saturn spins so quickly that its equator is noticeably wider than its poles, so gravity pulls planets toward a round shape, while rotation can stretch them slightly around the middle. But how did planets become massive enough for gravity to reshape them in the first place? Billions of years ago, the young solar system was filled with dust, gas, ice, and rocks. Tiny particles collided and stuck together. Larger objects formed which attracted even more material with their growing gravity. Over millions of years, these objects became planets. As their mass increased, their gravity became stronger, and eventually, gravity was powerful enough to reshape them. And here's the fascinating part. A planet doesn't become round because there is a special force that says it must be a sphere. Gravity simply pulls matter toward the center from every direction. When you repeat that process on a massive scale, a sphere naturally appears. So the next time you look at Earth, remember that its shape is the result of billions of years of collisions, gravity, heat, and motion. What started as scattered dust and rocks eventually became a world shaped by one simple force: gravity.